Set 16, Lore and Legends, a set that a lot of people have been looking forward to for quite a while now. With PBE out on the 18th to 19th of November, with it out live on the 3rd of December, it is set to be one of the biggest sets to ever come out, with 100 units more than we've ever had, ranging from 1 to 7 costs. All of this made possible with the set mechanic unlockables. With that, let's kick it off with what we know about each region's trait and what units are within these traits. To kick it off, we've got Bilgewater. Each round gains Silver Serpents, or Serpents, +2 additionally for each Bilgewater takedown. Silver Serpents can be spent in the black market to grant Bilgewater champions bonus stats and special loots. With that, we've got Demacia. With each time your team loses 25% max health, Demacians rally, reducing the cost of their abilities by 10%. Demacians gain armor and magic resist. With that, we've got Jarvan, Sona, Poppy, Xin Zhao, Vayne, Garen, Lux, and Galio. Following along from that, we have Freljord, which summon a frozen tower, allies in front of it gain health, and allies behind it gain damage amp. Freljords gain 150% more of this, with the breakpoints being 3, 5, and 7. The units in this one are Anivia, Ashe, Tryndamere, Sejuani, Braum, Lysandra, and Volibear. Following along from that, we have Ionia, where each game they will walk a different path, meaning that each game Ionia will have a different sort of effect that comes with it. You've got the Path of Spirits, Path of Generosity, Path of Enlightenment, Path of Transcendence, and Path of Precision, with the units being Jhin, Shen, Xin Zhao, Yasuo, Ahri, Kennen, Yone, Yunara, Wukong, and finally Set, the boss. Next is my personal favourite looking trait and region of the whole set, which is Ixtal, which Ixtal has you complete a quest that you can choose for bonus loot. Completing a quest grants you a new one at the start of the next round. The units being Kiana, Nico, Milio, Nidalee, Skarner, and Brock, which is the first time we've ever seen this unit within TFT, as it is a TFT exclusive unit. Next, we have Noxus. After the enemy team has lost 15% of their health, summon Asakan, Bringer of Ruin. Each Noxian champ star level increases his power. The units being Briar, Sion, Darius, Draven, LeBlanc, Swain, Ambessa, and Mel. The breakpoints being 3, 5, 7, and 10. Next, we have Piltover, who build an invention on the right side of the board. After 8 seconds, the invention activates, triggering each of its modules. The units, we have got Caitlyn, Vi, Orianna, Loris, who is exclusive to Arcane, Seraphine, and T-Hex. Then we've got Shadow Isles. Whenever any champion dies, gains souls. Shadow Isle champions' abilities are uniquely empowered based on the number of souls you have. Shadow Isle champions gain attack damage and ability power, with the units being Viego, Yorick, Gwen, Callista, and Fresh. Next we have Shurima, which is a really high value chase trait of this set, where each second Shurimans grant 2% attack speed and restore 20 health. At combat start, they gain additional effects, the units being Azir, Nasus, Renekton, and Xerath. Next we have Targon. Targonians are forged by the stars. They are completely traitless, but are stronger than the average champion, with these units being Aphelios, Zoe, Leona, Diana, Taric, and Aurelion Sol. Next, we have got Void, which gain mutations that only Void champions can use. Void champions also gain attack speed. Champions can only have one mutation at a time, and benching a champion removes their mutation from them. These units, you've got Kog'Maw, Cho'Gath, Rek'Sai, Malzahar, Bel'Veth, Callista, Rift Herald, and Baron Nashor. Next, we've got Yordles. Yordles gain health and attack speed for each Yordle fielded. 3-star Yordles grant 50% more. And with those, the Yordles we've got are Lulu, Rumble, Poppy, Teemo, Tristana, Kennen, Kobiko and Yuumi, Veigar, Fizz, and Ziggs. And finally, we've got Zorn. After 4 seconds, Zornites become Shimmer Fuse, granting them 10% durability and 90% decaying attack speed for 4 seconds. After a short cooldown, they become Shimmer Fused again. With these units being Blitzcrank, Vi, Echo, Dr. Mundo, Jinx, Singed, Warwick, and Ziggs again. Now, that may not sound like there is 100 units with that. That's because there are some units who belong to Runeterra, and while Runeterra as a whole is what you describe the world and the lore of all the League of Legends characters, the way it's described here is ones that do not fit in any sort of regional traits. So these ones, we have got Ryze, Fiddlesticks, Kindred, Shyvana, Annie, Zilean, Sylas, Bard, and Ornn. I personally believe Ornn should be a Freljord because he's one of the demigods of Freljord. Come on now, like he should be in the trait. He just should be in the trait. The final two I haven't mentioned are Aatrox and Zehen, who are Darkins. So their trait is quite interesting because you will become a Darkin based on a certain augment you can get, which will give you an option to choose from a bunch of artifacts which will turn you into a Darkin. Some of these units have their own sort of unique trait with them. With Xerath, after each combat there is an Ascendant Charm that appears in your shop. These are powerful effects that can be bought for gold. This is a callback from set 12, Magic and Mayhem. Kai'Sa has Assimilator, where she gains a different ability depending on whether her attack damage or ability power is higher. Ornn, after each player combat, your strongest Ornn, he makes progress towards forging an artifact item. Each item he is equipped with grants him more max health, and artifacts grant him 300% more. Bard, after winning player combat, gain a random unit from Runeterra. After losing combat, however, gain 3 rerolls, with the amount increasing per stage. Sylas rotates between 3 different abilities depending on which one is more useful at the time. He cannot cast the same ability twice in a row. Zilean, with every 2 casts, he stores 1 XP. If he has enough stored for you to level up, he transfers you the required XP. However, if you are level 10, he instead gains 15% damage up. Annie summons Tibbers on your bench, who can be fielded and equipped with items separately. His star level is the exact same as Annie's. Next we got Shyvana, who is Dragonborn. On cast, Shyvana replaces her spells with Flame Breath. While transformed, all allies take 10% less damage from enemy abilities. What else would Azir be but the Emperor, with deploying 2 guards who can be placed anywhere on the battlefield. They do not move or attack and die when Azir does. Up next is Kindred, with every 3rd attack dealt on the same enemy deals 350% of damage, as Wolf mauls the target. Next, one of the most unique and kind of funnier ones I like is the Glutton for Tahm Kench. Once per planning phase, you can feed Tahm Kench a champion, which gains him either permanent health, attack speed, or ability power based on their role and star level. To feed, simply hold an ally from the bench over Tahm Kench until his mouth opens, and then release it into his gob. Up next is Fiddlesticks. Each time an enemy champion dies, he gains 15 mana. Casting abilities does not consume mana. All enemies lose 10 armor and magic resist. Up next is Galio, who cannot be fielded in combat. Instead, his traits count from the bench, and when Demacians rally, he joins the fight. On landing, he creates a 3-hex shockwave that deals 12% of his max health as magic damage. Enemies hit are knocked up for 1.5 seconds, reduced by the distance from the center of where he slammed down. Up next is T-Hex, which grants you a pilot slot. On combat start, the unit within the pilot hex jumps into T-Hex, granting her 80% of their health and bonus stats based on their role and star level. Tanks gain scaling Omnivamp, fighters give her attack damage, marksmen damage amp, casters mana regen, and assassins crit chance. On T-Hex death, the pilot ejects, while T-Hex knocks back and stuns nearby enemies for 1.5 seconds. Here we have Nidalee's one. While your strongest Nico is alive, your strongest Nidalee is untargetable. Pretty simple one, but it makes sense in the lore. Next, we have Zahen, which is the new unit to be coming into League of Legends. While Xin Zhao is not on your board, Zahen gains the Ionian, Demacia, and Warden traits. On kill, Zahen gains a stack of focus for the rest of combat. If he has 3 or more focus when dying, he spends it to revive and restores 60% max health. Next on the list is Baron Nashor, but Baron takes up 2 team slots and grants +2 to the Void trait. After 8 seconds, the board enters a Void Rift. The Rift grants Void units 30% damage amp and constantly strikes enemies with bolts of plasma, dealing 5% max health as magic damage. Next, we have Rise, our Rune Mage. He benefits from all active region traits, but he contributes to none of them. He harnesses the runic power from active region traits to modify his abilities, enhancing them in unique ways. For example, if he is active with Targon, his cast will heal allies. Bilgewater, it will explode. With Yordle, it will shrink. You get the gist. Next, we have Aurelion Sol, who gains 40% increased Stardust for each unique Targonian fielded in combat, with Stardust leading directly to his ultimate, the Sky's Descent. Up next, the Boss. When Set first drops below 45% max health, he leaves combat to start doing sit-ups. Each sit-ups restore 15% max health and gives him 60% attack and movement speed. If he reaches full health, he returns to combat pumped up, converting all damage from his attacks and abilities to true damage. If all of his allies die, however, he will immediately return to combat. Next is the World Ender. Aatrox gains attack damage equal to his Omnivamp. On first death, he becomes briefly untargetable and heals back up to full health over 2 seconds. Afterwards, he reduces his max mana by 20 and gains 25% durability. And that's it for all our unique origins. Next, let's talk about how you can actually go about unlocking some of these champs. As you may know, a standard TFT set has 60 champions in, and while this set will have 60 base champions in, it will also have 40 unlockable ones, which you will be able to do throughout the game. You will be able to unlock them for the game only, and then once you go into a new game, you will have to unlock them all over again. You can keep track of what units you have already unlocked throughout your games in the Lore Finder, which will gain you awards for having unlocked them, including for bonus awards if you have top 4 with any of the champions in the unlockables. Each unit has a certain rule for their unlock or condition. However, as soon as they are unlocked, they will stay unlocked for the rest of the game, and you will gain a copy on your next shop roll on the right slot. However, unlocked champs that you don't want will appear less often in shops if you do not buy it or play them. Some example of these unlock conditions are reroll 4 times before stage 2 carousel to unlock Bard, have Draven drop 1 gold for Darius, 6-star levels of Brawler, Yordle, or Invoker for Kobuko and Yuumi, have a 2-star Ambessa with 1 item die in combat for Mel, and for Brock, collect 50 Ishtar clue totals. This set mechanic is aimed at keeping the game fresh, with there being a lot of different champions to play, so you feel like there are endless different compositions that you can play. From what we know, there is no sort of item updates coming into this set. Any items that were sent from set 15 will stay exactly the same so far. Obviously, that could change on PBE, we don't know. That's the exact same with all the unlocks, all of people's abilities. These could all change on PBE, with their values differentiating depending on how strong they are or how weak they are. Anyways, I hope you are excited to play this set as much as I am, as I will definitely be hopping on the PBE for it. Stay tuned for my next video, where I will showcase different compositions that will be played on the PBE. Bug Nation!